Hello, friend. Go ahead and grab your coffee and let's settle in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most vital yet often invisible roles in our digital lives, the back-end engineer. These are the hidden architects behind pretty much every app you use every single day. I mean, just think about it for a second. You pull out your phone, you open an app, you tap a button. The whole thing feels instant, totally seamless. It just works. But what is that? What's the invisible machinery cranking away behind that one little tap? What's the system that finds your account, processes your request, and gives you what you want in like a fraction of a second? Well, that is the world of the back end. And today, we're diving in. So, to really understand the invisible part, let's start with what we can actually see. This is the part of the digital world that we all know and interact with every day. Okay, the best way to think about this is to imagine a restaurant. The front end is everything you experience out in the dining room. The beautiful decor, the menu you're holding, the friendly waiter who takes your order. It's everything you see and touch. The back end? That's the kitchen. It's the engine room. It's where the chefs are, the secret recipes, the roaring fires, all that coordinated chaos that actually turns your order into a meal. A dining room is pretty useless without a kitchen, right? That's where all the real heavy lifting is done. So if the back end is the kitchen, who's in charge? Well, it's time to meet the master chef of our digital restaurant. Officially, a back-end software engineer is the architect of that entire hidden world. They're not focused on, say, the color of a button. No, they're building the entire system that decides what actually happens when you click that button. They are literally constructing the brain and the heart of the whole application. So what does a day in the life of this digital chef really look like? What's inside their recipe book? Let's break down their main jobs. This is really where the action is, and each task fits our restaurant analogy perfectly. So first, they build the server logic. That's the brain that processes your order. Second, they manage databases. Think of these as a giant digital pantry that stores everything from user accounts to passwords to, yes, even cat photos. Third, they create APIs. These are like the waiters of the digital world, shuttling requests from the front end to the back end and then delivering the data back to you. Fourth is security. This is huge. They're the bouncer at the door, protecting all that data and making sure only the right people get in. And finally, optimization. This makes them the conductor of the whole orchestra, making sure the entire system runs fast and doesn't crash, even if thousands of people are trying to buy concert tickets all at the exact same time. Okay, so we get what they do, but who are these engineers? What kind of mindset does it take to thrive in this world of pure logic, servers, and data? Let's see if any of this sounds like you. A back-end engineer is someone who gets a bigger thrill from solving a complex puzzle than from picking the perfect color palette. It's someone with the patience of a saint who can hunt for a single misplaced semicolon for hours because they know it can break everything. You got to have an analytical mind that can look at a massive, complicated problem and break it down into tiny, solvable pieces. And maybe most importantly, you have to be ready to constantly learn because the technology in this field changes, I swear, faster than TikTok trends. And here's the really crucial point. This isn't about being some kind of born genius. It's about having a real passion for problem solving. It's about loving that deep, satisfying feeling you get when a super complex system finally clicks into place and just works. Now, for all of this critical, invisible work that literally keeps our digital world running, how is it valued? Yeah, let's talk about the money. Well, as you can imagine, this kind of work is highly valued. This table, with data from Ukraine, gives us a really great snapshot. A junior engineer who, and I love this comment, is still learning not to be scared of the word production, starts out around $800 to $1,500 a month. Then you've got your middle engineer who gets that code as a team sport. They're pulling in between $2,000 and $3,500. And then the senior, who basically speaks the language of servers, can command anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 a month, and often even more. And this chart really puts their value into perspective. You can see that at the middle level, a back-end engineer's salary often edges out their front-end colleague. Now, that's not a value judgment on front-end, not at all. It's just a reflection of pure market demand. And the reason that demand is so high is because every single company, from a tiny startup to a global giant, is built on a foundation of data and cloud infrastructure. Back-end engineers build that foundation, which makes them absolutely essential. So, let's bring this all home. What's the biggest takeaway from our little peek inside the digital kitchen today? When you boil it all down, back-end engineers are the pillars holding up our entire digital experience. They really are the modest heroes working in the shadow of the front end, the quiet geniuses making sure the apps we depend on are not just beautiful, but powerful. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Without them, a program is like a body without a heart. Beautiful, but lifeless and non-functional. You can have the most stunning app design in the world, but without that powerful engine built by a back-end engineer, it's just an empty shell. They provide the very heart that makes the whole system beat. So, I'll just leave you with this one final thought. The next time you effortlessly order food, or stream a movie, or just tap like on a photo, maybe take just a half second to think about that invisible world whirring behind the screen, and the engineer in that digital kitchen who made it all possible.